2008 was a momentous year, not just because we elected our first Black president, Barack Obama, not just because it began the Great Recession, and not even just because I turned 30. It was also the year that my boyfriend of 3.5 years broke up with me. And ironically, it happened 2 weeks after we came back from a romantic trip to Hawaii that I had planned for my birthday. It was a Friday evening after work, and he came over, and I was excited to see him until, as we were sitting next to each other on my couch, he said, "I think we should break up." And I think it was at that moment that my soul left my body, and I kind of blacked out. But I do remember the gist of his reasoning was, I think we're on different pages. I feel like you want to get married and have babies, and I'm only 26 and I'm not ready for that, and I don't know if I ever will be. And I don't think it's fair to make you wait. And I cried and I was like, "Are you sure you want to break up? Is there anything I can do to change your mind?" And holy lack of dignity. But I was devastated. But he stood firm. And when he left, I picked up my cat, Kobe. And I said, through tears, "Kobe, you're the best and only man in my life now." I buried my face in his fur and I cried all night. And I was a mess. He was my best friend. As a matter of fact, he was my only close friend in Los Angeles at the time, because the two girlfriends I had who I was really close to before I met him, I kind of pushed away the year before because they didn't really like him. Okay, he could be loud and obnoxious when he was drunk, and he was somewhat immature, and there was that time I thought he cheated on me, and he swore up and down he didn't, and I chose to believe him. I don't think they let that go. And I felt like if they don't support me in my relationship, then they don't need to be in my life. So here I am, no boyfriend, no close friends, and my self-esteem is in the toilet. And I just wanted to have some kind of connection to him. So I went on social media, decided to social media stalk him. The challenge is that he didn't have social media because I think it's dumb. However, I was friends with his sisters on Facebook. So on his sister Melissa's page, I came across a picture of him. Jackpot. Or is it? Because in this picture, his mom is in the picture, it's Christmas time, and there's a cute brunette sitting in his lap. Who the fuck is this bitch? Click on her profile, because hopefully Melissa has tagged her. And I see, oh, she graduated from Stanford, and she was in an a cappella group. Look at her and her extracurriculars. There's all these pictures of her and her friends doing cool things. Oh, you have friends. Look at you. And there's a picture of them on a snowboarding trip. Okay, hold up. First of all, we had barely been broken up it had been 8 months. And he already had a new girl, and a girl who met his mom had never met his mom. Well, did I mention we'd been together for 3.5 years? And they went to Big Bear to go snowboarding. I could barely get this guy to get off the couch and go to the movies down the street. It's a miracle we made it to Hawaii. And they went traveling? So I'm comparing myself to this girl, and thankfully by this time I had been in therapy for a few months. So I went to my therapist and I told her what I saw. And she's helping me figure out that I'm lovable and blah, blah, blah. Like me. But I also have this revelation that I'm jealous of this girl. It has nothing to do with her. It's because I don't feel good about myself. I am lacking in myself. And I can sit here and be jealous and like want to throw darts at her and and compare myself, or I can be better. I can do something to make my life one that I would envy. And so 2009 became my year of yes. And I coined that before Shonda Rhimes wrote her book. I decided I was going to say yes to all invitations and all new experiences and have the best life I could. So I also needed to lose some weight because in that last year we were together, I gained 25 pounds. And that was the heaviest I've ever been in my life. So that was not helping my self-esteem. And so when a coworker who I'd been confiding in invited me to join her in spin class, I said, absolutely. And I was back at the gym, and I joined a book club, and I joined a happy hour group at work. We were going to happy hour every Thursday. I even went to Europe for the first time by myself. Woo! So that by the time I was 32, I had an active social life. I had lost the weight that I had gained. I was actually in better shape than I was before I even met the ex. And some of the friends that I met the year before, we ended up going to Brazil together that year. It was a catalyst for me becoming a traveler. I've been to at least 25 countries currently. And one of the things that I realized, or I admitted to myself, thanks to therapy, is I was suppressing my needs and my desires in that relationship because I was so afraid of being alone that I would rather be in this relationship where I was unhappy. And I was unhappy that last year because I thought the idea of being single and alone was so horrible that I just suffered. And I know now that being in a relationship where you're unhappy and unfulfilled and not being true to yourself is far worse than being single and alone. And I wasn't alone. I had love in my life. I had friends. I had family. And so I actually am grateful that he broke up with me, and I consider it a gift. So thank you to my ex-boyfriend.